I have never completed a single set, unless you count Trick or Trade, which I do not. And that doesn't just apply for Pokemon. Even as a kid, I would have football sticker books, and I would never finish them. As a young adult, I got into Match Attacks, and now I just have several binders like this. When it comes to Pokemon, there are a few reasons why I haven't gone for sets. One, as you can see, this is my entire collection of Pokemon cards here in this one binder. I got quite into collecting the Pokemon specifically that I like, what I have nostalgia for. And as you can probably tell from my binder, I only really care about Kanto Pokemon, and I don't have any interest in dropping money on cards that I don't actually like. So that discounts a lot of sets for me from being ones that I'm interested in finishing. A lot of the sets that only have Kanto Pokemon are going to be very expensive, and that really is the factor that stopped me going for a complete Pokemon set. But I was talking to my buddy about this, and he said, what about Jungle? There aren't any crazy expensive cards in Jungle. And I looked it up and realised I had discounted it based on my assumptions. Jungle in Japanese is actually a 48 card set, and according to price charting, the most expensive card is Jolteon at $31. So I decided to start a vintage set from scratch in 2026, and I took my first steps towards that goal at the London card show at the XL, the biggest card show in the history of Europe. Before I get into the specifics of looking for the Jungle cards, I just want to talk briefly about the event itself. I'm trying to give an idea of scale of this room, but it felt never ending. It was one where I walked in and immediately knew I've got no chance of seeing everything in this room. But there was stuff in this room that I've never seen at other shows, and I heard the same from other people. So it was an absolute pleasure to be here for that event. I was there on the Sunday, and my afternoon was pretty much mostly spent walking through tables and very quickly deciding, have they got any Japanese vintage? If they did, checking out all their binders. So let me show you some of the binders that I ended up flicking through. Now I'd seen a few Jungle cards before this point, but this was the first binder I saw with multiple cards from Jungle. But I was happy with the condition of some of these, so I stood here and I looked up on eBay if I could find a decent quality copy of these cards cheaper on eBay, and if I couldn't, I just picked them up. I did ask about a couple of these cards here that don't have prices on. They spent a little while comping and came back with prices way higher than I had found comps for, so I passed on those.
I've been going out of my way for us, and I'm not okay. The sun ain't gon' shine all day. Can't wait to see it on your face.
I did spend a few minutes here looking at these Clefable cards as well as these Venomoth cards. The £7 Clefable was very clean. £5 one just had a scratch across the hollow, which for me was a step too far on condition. They also had a £15 Venomoth and an £8 Venomoth, and I thought the £8 one looked very clean. So I picked up those two cards. And this table had quite a lot of Flareons, but none at a good intersection of price and condition. I did pick up a card from them though. Let me go to the pickups. So my first pickups were from Torchic. She actually had some custom artwork and some custom binders, which are well worth checking out. And here's my confession, guys. I actually just paid sticker on all these. I know, but I was happy with all the prices on these. And when I'm happy with the price, if I'm content that I can't just go on eBay and buy a cheaper one and I think it's fair, I will often just pay sticker. The only one that isn't in really nice condition here is the Dodrio, hence only £1. But it's still very much passable for the binder, and that's really what I'm after. Then, as I mentioned, I picked up this Clefable, which again I just put sticker on. I was fine with that price. Looked very, very clean. And the Venomoth 2, I was really happy with that. Now, this was from the last binder I showed you, and this was the only one that I really denied on the condition of. Now, the reason I did that is because I think the holo itself, you can see a scratch there, but it's actually on the top loader. And it took me a couple of seconds when I was looking in this binder and then this copy to realise why this was marked down. If you look straight on in this footage, I'm struggling to see there what's wrong with it until you hit just that angle where you can see a little crease. But basically, because I'd seen it in the binder, and I was content that I couldn't really see that whilst it was in the binder, I did pick this up. For right now, I'm happy with this. I'll see if I'm still happy with it by the time I finish this set, and whether or not I feel the need to replace it. The final pickup I made was from Tabletop Noughts, and I didn't get any footage of this on the day, but I want to shout this guy out because he helped me out here. I found in his binder this Jolteon holo, which is really nice, really clean copy for the binder. He had it stickered at 19, and I stood there umming and ahhing about whether or not I could justify picking up another card for this day. I was already pretty happy with what I'd got. And we had a little conversation, and he said I'll do it for 16 because it was towards the end of the day on Sunday. So I ended up picking this up for £16. It's the only one I didn't just pay a sticker for, to be honest. I'm a little better at negotiating on prices with football cards, but for whatever reason with Pokemon, I just find it easier to find a table with the prices I like and pay the money and walk off from tables with the prices I don't like. The only issue I can find with this card is a little bit of whitening on the left-hand side on the back. Otherwise, that is a beautiful copy of this card. So let's go ahead and add these cards to the binder. For now, I'm going to be keeping all the cards in the same binder as the rest of my collection. I do quite like having my entire collection confined in one binder. I don't know how long that's going to be sustainable for. But right now, there is almost an exact right space gap after my Kanto Pokedex and before Trick or Treat at the end. So let's start loading these cards in. So overall, I am very happy with the start I've made here. I managed to make 10 pickups, that is 20.8% of the set complete already. And I actually got 4 out of 16 holos, so 25% of holos. Not bad for a first day. Just as a little tackle, and I did also look around some of the sports stuff, and I also collect Star Wars, I collect too many things. And this genuinely is the only flick through box I looked through in the whole day, and I found the guy that I PC, picked that up, picked up 1 Star Wars card. That was my lot for the day. This hunt to complete jungle is likely to be a series on this channel. I have no idea when the next one will be, but if you want to see the rest of this journey, hit subscribe, and if you enjoyed the video, do consider giving it a like. I really appreciate that. Thanks for watching.